The real thing that draws me back to this place and makes me feel happy about living here now is my access to the sea, my access to really beautiful, quiet places, which is fundamentally what we're trying to explore with this work. My name is CHAPPE. I'm a choreographer and dancer, currently based in Devon. I'm a very content-driven choreographer, so I like to make material, I like to make movement, and then I look for an emotional arc and story to that work over the top of that. So the movement language I play with takes influences from classical ballet, it takes influences from contemporary dance and improvisation, and has its own signature and aesthetic, which is perhaps more my habitual way of moving and the way that my dancers meet. I take as much information from them as they take from me, so it's a very collaborative process. So it's a very full-bodied, physically driven vocabulary. The highlight of my career and practice so far has really been kind of from the artists that I work with. It's been the same with the collaborators that I'm with as well, from composers like Samuel Hall to dramaturg Neas Gil-Cortez. I have a really fantastic group of dancers that I feel very emotionally and artistically connected to. We've grown together, which has made certain creations real highlight. One of them was At the End We Begin, which we created at Studio Wayne McGregor in the Olympic Park, which went on for around 40 shows across the UK in the last few years. And the other one is our most recent creation, Still Touch, which was commissioned by the Royal Opera House for Open Up Festival in 2018. It tends to be creations that I've made with that ensemble, which really I see as highlights. I think EYEVIEW's programme and their principles of how I want to work as an artist. I'm making a work called Silence Between Waves, which will be a collaboration between myself and 3 really exceptional Singaporean dancers who I've worked with in my career throughout Southeast Asia as a choreographer. And I'm really fascinated in matching their skills with large community casts from Torbay. Our real drive about this is that we want to engage with a large cast who can have any experience of dance in their bodies. Maybe they haven't before, maybe they have, but if you can move, we want you to. And I really want this work to kind of link the feeling of being far away and being at home, and what connects us with our relationships to the sea. The work itself is going to really drive off the idea of quietness and striving for a sense of peace and security on the coastline. I'm really excited during the process to be returning to collaborate with composer Samuel Hall, who will be making a soundscape for the work, which will be lots of different local people's voices. And our hope is that we get them to experience being on the bay and describing what they hear and using that as a real driving force in the piece's score, so people really hear their own words used in the piece and their own sense of being local to the piece as well. I think what I really want is the presence of the Singaporean dancers to match with those local voices to show a real sense of internationalism, as well as celebrating our sense of local beauty as well. I really want people to be intrigued and excited about this kind of work happening in Torbay, and this kind of work happening in this very special space to a lot of people. And then I really want the experience to be kind of sold by their journey onto the space where we're performing. I want them to be able to walk and see the beautiful surrounding landscape before watching some really exceptional live dance.